Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here on Monday, the 3rd of December, with the Monday Night Raw review and recap. Nick, what's going on?
What is going on, folks? Welcome to what I'm assuming is going to be better than Raw. So, the Raw review.
Take it for a second. What?
Baby called me ugly.
I don't want to hear it. Go to bed, please. I forgot to mute my mic. My bad. I always click it. No, I don't really. I forget the Yeti. You have to click it. You can't just like tap it. You have to click it. Empty. Well, they've had bad weather recently, so maybe people didn't want to go out. I don't know. Excuses. Stuff not making sense. Oh, trust me. Okay. The show kicks off right away with a 10-bell salute for 41st President George H.W. Bush. We come, and we get wrestling first. I'm like, whoa, not a talking segment. I was shocked. And Ronda Rousey comes out, Tamina, Nia, Natalya, and then they get attacked. The Riot Squad's music hits and they march down the ramp. They have a table in hand. As they did, Jax and Tamina attack Ronda Rousey and Natalya. Jax and Tamina took care of Rousey in the ring, while the Riot Squad took care of Natalya. Rousey tried to fight back, but was taken out with a double leg by Jax. Ruby Riott then super kicked Natalya off the apron as Liv and Sarah Logan powerbombed her through the table, sitting ringside. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan were laughing as Ruby Riott got out of the ring and then kind of like went and got in her face. They all backed away, the heels backed off, and yeah.
I just want to mention right now, thank you for those in chat that are saying they can't fucking hear me.
Yeah, your mic was muted, my bad.
God damn it.
All kinds of crap. Anyways, going forward, went to a commercial. As we come back, we see backstage Rousey and Natalya walking through the back. Officials, I don't know where they were. It's like you have these. You're supposed to get a 2-on-2. 3 other women come down, and there's no referee to try and send them to the back or stop them. Like, where was the ref assigned to the match?
I don't know, man.
It made no sense. Which, later on, refs do show up to help break up a situation. That happened a lot tonight. The whole, well, this makes sense in this segment, but the same thing kind of didn't make sense in another segment. Anyways, they got help for Natalya. Rousey was like, I could still wrestle, but they told Natty she couldn't. We then yet again do the open forum with Sasha, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss.
Which is just stupid, in my opinion. Like, this open forum.
There's no need for it.
There really isn't. There really isn't.
Alexa Bliss came out and wanted to try the open forum again like she did last week. She said it didn't go according to plan. She introduced Banks and Bayley as Michael Cole and Renee accused Bliss of setting up the attack last week. Bayley and Bliss. Bayley asked Bliss how long it would take for them to get attacked again this week. Bliss said that she had no idea that was going to happen, and she says she was going to reprimand the 3 women who did so. Excuse me. A fan asked the first question, which, of course, they're plants, so this is all, yeah, they're not real fans.
Pretty sure that was Corey from Corey in the House that asked this question, by the way.
Oh, Lord from Raven's Home? Or, That's So Raven?
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure that was him.
Wow. Kyle Massey. Why do I know that?
2 kids.
No, that show's from like the early 2000s.
It's very true.
Even though they did do a remake.
Yeah, and it was not good.
No, the remake's actually pretty good. The first fan asked what they thought of the rumor that Banks was just using Bayley. They brushed this off and said they're partners forever. The next fan asked their dream opponents and who that would be, and they answered Trish and Lita at the exact same time. The next fan asked what their superpowers would be, and Bayley said she would make Bliss disappear. Another fan asked what changes they would bring to the division. Bayley said they want to be the first ever women's tag team champions.
So
now,
finally they come right out and say
that's what I'm saying. They've teased the whole tag team thing in the women's division. Bayley and Sasha before have said that they're the best women's team in the company, in the WWE, but they've never just straight up said women's tag team championships.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that, leads to something. Slight pop from the crowd, but I mean, there was only a slight crowd there, so it could have been the whole crowd, for all we know.
It was literally the whole crowd cheering.
Alicia Fox, Mickie James, and Dana Brooke would come down. We would think they're going to attack, and Banks saw them coming, and Bliss demanded they stop. Instead, I don't even know what we call her. I guess the GM of the women, the women's GM.
Line leader of the women's kindergarten class. I don't fucking know.
She makes a tag team match. She's Teddy Long. She gets Bayley and Sasha taking on Alicia and Mickie with Dana Brooke at ringside. Banks gave James a backstabber, and Bayley followed with a Bayley to belly for the fairly quick win. Match was under 5 minutes. Not much to really say. We then learned that tonight is Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night.
That's every night for me. That's every night for me with a bottle of lotion.
Rousey confronted Bliss backstage and said the Riot Squad crossed the line. Bliss said that she sent them home. They're not going to be any kind of a hindrance for the rest of the night. Their actions will be addressed the next week. But Rousey said, I still want Jax and Tamina. Bliss then offered, I'll find you a tag team partner. And Ronda goes, no offense, but I've dealt with you in the past, and you're not the most sincere person. I'll find my own partner. He's like, okay then. We then get a Baron Corbin hype video. They then cut to Corbin in the back, who was approached by Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. They said they wanted a rematch with AOP. Corbin said, well, why? You lost. You shouldn't get anything for losing. It's not like you were screwed. They were distracted by their own merit. They didn't have to be distracted. They could have just ignored it and actually worried about the titles. Which, as I'm going to mention later, the titles almost don't matter in a lot of things on Raw. So Corbin said, you know what, Roode, if you can beat Drake Maverick tonight, I'll give you that opportunity once again. Roode chuckled and wondered what the catch was. Corbin said, no catch, but Gable and AOP are banned from ringside. Well, this damn segment, we get a 3-on-1 Lucha House Rules handicap match. Lucha House Party versus Scott Dawson. Dawson cut a promo before the match, similar to his promo last week, said that we need to teach the Lucha House Party the real rules because they don't respect any rules. JoJo then announced that this match would be taking place under Lucha House rules. Dawson and Wilder, again, were surprised to hear that. I think it was Renee said that I talked with Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson before this match, and they said if the Lucha House Party tried any of their chicanery or whatever during this match where they make it a handicap, they're going to file a formal complaint. I was like, okay.
Yeah, way to make these two guys just seem like
a formal complaint to who? Baron Corbin, who puts himself in handicap matches against babyfaces?
It'll be a formal complaint to Vince McMahon about, please, we're requesting our release.
No. Here's the thing. So you've got these babyfaces in the Lucha House Party that think it's cool to do handicap matches where they have the advantage, and the announcers are touting how Lucha House rules, that's the way they do it. But then you go into the more main event scene where you've got like the almighty Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin putting themselves in handicap matches and whatnot, and you got the announcers going, this isn't fair, this isn't right, why do they have to have the advantage, you can't take them on one-on-one. Like, there's no consistency there. In one hand you're saying that a handicap match is perfectly fine, but then the other hand you're like, a handicap match is unfair and not just.
I don't know, man.
Where do you blur those lines,
You don't. At this point, you don't. You kind of just learn to just roll with whatever the fuck they're throwing at you. And that's the upsetting thing to me. That's the thing that gets me, was that we're just supposed to accept this bass-ackwards way of thinking from whatever the creative team is that thinks this would be a great idea to do tonight. Let's have this Lucha House Rule. I don't give a fuck what it's called. It's because it took one of your most promising tag teams in the Revival who could work a completely different style from every single team. Every single tag team across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, they had a hard style which was different, so you could pair them with every other tag team, and it fits so well. But now you have them going up against Lucha House Party for what? So you can make the joke of a formal complaint. That's
Right.
fucking bullshit. Do you remember how hyped every single motherfucker was when they were like, "Oh my god, they answered the open challenge against the New Day and they knocked down that ice cream cart and they looked so badass." To come to this, that's upsetting. And I don't give a fuck about any injuries. I don't give a shit.
Right. No, I know you're
any injuries.
Now,
But I don't know.
during this match, I take it the Young Bucks were watching Raw tonight because during this match, Matt Jackson would take to Twitter to tweet the following. Did you see this tweet?
No, because I don't care.
He said, "One day we'll wrestle the Revival and everyone will rejoice. Remember this tweet." Now, there was a rumor.
I'm sure the Revival will leave.
Now, there was a rumor last week that there were 2 WWE superstars that were interested in leaving soon, like within the next couple of months, and that apparently they are close with guys starting All Elite Wrestling. A lot of people thought that was Gallows and Anderson because of their Bullet Club tie-in, but maybe it was the Revival.
I can guarantee you, no matter what, they're going to leave. And Mark Brown in chat says, "Do you think this Lucha House Party gimmick is getting old?"
Very.
It got old real quick. Let's continue on,
Like-
so I don't.
One last with answering his question. I was excited when I saw a new tag team on Raw, but then when they were like, they can do whatever they want, they can, it's not Freebird rules, it's not New Day rules, it's Lucha House Party rules. At least the New Day has the common decency to only pick 2 people for their tag matches. So we have 3-on-1, all 3 House Party men, Lucha House Party guys, against Scott Dawson. Kalisto gave Dawson a Selena Del Sol. Grand Metalik won with a springboard senton. Corey Graves yelled about how ridiculous this was. And Michael Cole tried to justify it. Going forward, we learned that tomorrow night on SmackDown, there will be a Women's Championship match, contract signing, and the new Daniel Bryan will be on an unmissable episode of Miz TV.
Miz TV is starting to get a little stale too, but we'll talk about that tomorrow.
I guess a little bit, yeah. Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night was next. Corey Graves plugged TLC, saying we'll get to see Braun Strowman forfeit a match. Cole plugged it's like completely normal, and said in 2 weeks we'll see who comes out victorious. Corbin was then in the ring. He had a box in his hand. Apparently, he had a gift made for Drew McIntyre. The crowd booed and yelled, "You suck" at him. He mentioned some bumps in the road along the way are okay. We're dealing with it, like the Shield not being together anymore. Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman. But things have been pain-free lately with him in charge. He credited Drew McIntyre and played a video package for McIntyre. McIntyre came out and Corbin handed him a gift. He said, "I had this made for you. It's the Monday Night Raw Gold Medal of Excellence, and nobody deserves it more than Drew McIntyre." McIntyre said that he did what no one else could. He said he wanted to eradicate complacency in the Raw locker room. When he arrived a few months ago, guys were in the back playing video games and replying to fans on social media, and you don't need to bother yourself with that kind of stuff. You need to get ready for the fight that you're going to be in every single night. McIntyre wanted to reform Raw in his own image. He said those that were strong and mighty stand tall. McIntyre said Finn Balor and guys like him think of only himself and think they have a voice and they're the voice of the people. But he was just a boy in a man's world, so I think that's McIntyre's new saying. See that on a t-shirt soon. As he spoke, he was talking about his matchup coming with Balor at TLC, and Dolph Ziggler would come out. Dolph Ziggler came down and wondered why McIntyre and Corbin did not invite him out here for this Drew McIntyre appreciation. He said if it wasn't for him, McIntyre would not be on Raw. He said they dominated together. They won the Raw Tag Team Championships. And McIntyre said, "The truth is, you were never invited. You thought you were the brains. I was the brains, and I was the brawn." McIntyre said, "And to be out here, really, you gotta meet our height requirement, and you just don't meet it." But isn't Dolph like 6 foot?
Yeah, he's like 6 feet tall. He's fucking huge.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are what, 6'5", 6'6", and he's not that much shorter.
He's really not. Drew just has a bunch of muscle.
Oh yeah. McIntyre said Ziggler was never the brains, like I said. And then McIntyre would go on to say that I'm the whole damn package. He said Ziggler's role was to get him into a prominent position, and that was the only thing he needed to do to succeed in life because McIntyre was the whole package. McIntyre sarcastically thanked him and told him to leave. McIntyre said that he's the reason Ziggler was relevant for the first time in over 10 years. Ziggler then would go on to attack him, give him a zigzag, and as he was about to leave the ring, Corbin said, wait, you guys will have a match next. So I guess you can call this a match. Match started during the break. McIntyre was in control when they came back from the commercial. Ziggler tried a leaping DDT, but McIntyre turned it into a suplex. McIntyre grabbed a mic and said that maybe he did still have a soft spot for Ziggler, so he would treat him like he was someone he didn't like and pretend that it was Finn Balor. McIntyre drove him into the side of the ring and the barricade. Balor would then come out. He was standing on the stage, and they went to commercial break. After the break, Ziggler was fighting back a little bit, but McIntyre cut him off and hit a reverse Alabama slam. Ziggler managed to hit a leaping DDT a little while later, and then sent McIntyre to the outside. Crowd actually got behind Dolph here with a "Let's Go Ziggler" chant. Ziggler would look like he was about to take control, but McIntyre once again would cut him off with a headbutt and crotched him on the barricade as the referee watched. I mean, he didn't really use a weapon, so he did nothing wrong. And it wasn't a low blow, so. McIntyre slid Ziggler into the ring, and Ziggler collided with the referee. With the referee temporarily distracted, Balor would dropkick McIntyre into the barricade. McIntyre barely beat the 10 count, but upon entering the ring, Ziggler caught him with a super kick, fell on top of him. 1, 2, 3, first time McIntyre has lost a singles match since coming to the main roster.
So one thing I want to mention is I really, really, really am okay with if they make Ziggler and Dolph a thing, like a feud.
Ziggler and Dolph?
Yeah. If they make Dolph Ziggler have develop schizophrenia and then just start punching fucking mirrors every time. And Ziggler and Drew, because I think Ziggler can play the perfect babyface, the perfect just like I'm a great wrestler, I'm charismatic, I can talk, the fans know it.
Right.
And Drew's got the I'm a brute, I can throw you. That's the kind of feud that I don't mind seeing.
But the thing was, this was all just to further build the Dolph Ziggler or the Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor match at TLC. With Finn going out there, causing the distraction and all that.
Yeah. Noah Hall, yes, I will be going to Tilts. I will be going to No Scrubs by TLC.
So after the match, Cole said that he thought that was McIntyre's first pinfall loss. Backstage, Charlie Caruso interviewed McIntyre. Asked him if it was smart of him to ditch his friend Dolph Ziggler when other superstars are after him. McIntyre was mad and said Ziggler was never really his friend. He was just a means to make an end. McIntyre called this win tainted, and Ziggler has been living off of his potential. Ziggler's been trying to reach the top of the mountain, but McIntyre says, I'm the mountain. And he would come crashing down on Ziggler eventually. He also said Balor was a marked man, as we learned later. We have Elias, cutting his usual Elias promo. What does WWE stand for? He said he was looking for the almighty Bobby Lashley so he can wrap the guitar around his head. He was about to play a song, and then he was interrupted by Lio Rush and the almighty Bobby Lashley. Came out on the stage. Rush directed Lashley to pose, so he did, including the one where he bent over and put his ass in all the cameras' faces.
I like it.
Elias said he saw enough, so he went after Lashley. Elias drove Lashley into the video boards and then chased. Rush ran away. He didn't run away enough, though. Lashley would try to crawl back over and come at Elias. That didn't really do well. Elias finally was able to get to Rush and Balor was there seen on the stage. Balor was seen on the side of the stage, and this caused a distraction for Rush, and Elias smacked him over the back with the guitar. I don't know why Balor was out there, but hey, he was out there yet again.
I don't know, man. I don't question things.
I was confused as much as I was confused what I was reading.
Yeah, you really struggled with that one, actually.
Backstage, Jinder Mahal was in Baron Corbin's office and asked him if he needed any help taking care of Balor tonight. Corbin liked the idea, and after Mahal left, Corbin then was joined by Heath Slater and Rhino. Corbin said that he needed to speak with them. He's been crunching the numbers, and he feels like, there may not be enough room for both of you here on Monday Night Raw. So, one of you guys will quit. Neither wanted to quit. He said, well, if you can't quit, if neither of you can make up the decision, then you're going to have a match. And the winner is fired from Raw. Which when they make the match, you go, well, it's got to be Rhino. He's probably just going to retire or something anyways.
Exactly. I reckon he's got to be done soon.
Yeah. So next up, it was supposed to be Drake Maverick versus Bobby Roode. And it started out as Drake Maverick versus Bobby Roode. AOP was shown on the big screen beating up Gable backstage. Corbin showed up and announced that, you know what? No. It's a 2-on-3 handicap match. Match is already underway. AOP can come out. So Roode gave Maverick a glorious DDT and frantically went for a cover, but the AOP ran down and broke it up. AOP worked him over for a bit until Gable gingerly came down to the ring. AOP cut off Gable and then hit them both with a super collider. They tagged in Maverick. He fell through the ropes, crawled over on top of Bobby Roode and pinned him. Whoopie-doo. Don't call him Drake Maverick anymore. He's Rockstar Spud. With all this comedy stuff, he's Rockstar Spud again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what to say.
He was great as a serious general manager on 205 Live. Great.
You know what he was great as? Was a fucking wrestler.
Well, yeah, but
That's what he was fucking great at.
But
he was great at doing what his fucking job was.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. It's just like he's good on the mic. I don't know if I could say great in the ring. I mean, he's great on the mic. I'm going to say that. But I mean, as far as, I don't know, the comedy stuff, like, I just hope they don't bring back Hornswoggle just so they can do more Rockstar Spud-ish Impact stuff. Because that pee in yourself thing, that's right out of Impact.
Yeah, that's straight out of the 2000 and I'd say like 2011, 12 Impact.
Yeah.
Like Prime, just stupid.
So after this match, the AOP and Drake Maverick celebrated. And then the announcers tell us Sports Illustrated will be honoring John Cena with their Muhammad Ali Legacy Award this year. Cool.
That's neat. Good for him. Congratulations.
So, straight out of The Dark Knight Rises, Bane would come down with all of his henchmen. I mean, Dean Ambrose. Weird. I don't know if they're changing Ambrose's music or not, but he came out to just a bunch of sirens. And then red and blue lights flashing, but then on the video board on the ring, it still had the regular Dean Ambrose video. So he came out, flanked. Is that the right word? Flanked with 6 other men, all wearing black and wearing gas masks. He would then come out wearing a gas mask and a leather coat with fur on the inside, just like Bane did in The Dark Knight Rises, other than Bane's coat had white fur on the inside. Dean's was brown.
Yeah, he was not Bane. I don't know why people kept making
it. Looked just like Bane from, like, if you looked at him straight on, like, soon as he walked out the ramp, that's the only thing I could think of. Like, I didn't think anything but, that's Bane. Probably seen that movie one too many times.
I'm going to say this, and everyone's going to fucking get mad at me. I've never seen that movie.
The third Christian Bale Batman?
I've never seen a Batman film in my life. Besides,
you need to watch The Dark Knight with the Joker. That's the greatest.
I've heard that the Dark Knight is the best Batman movie ever.
It's the best superhero movie ever made.
What is that? Who's Joker in that?
Heath Ledger.
Okay, so it's because that's all I've ever heard is like Heath Ledger's Joker is the best Joker.
Yes, and they would have continued him as the Joker if he didn't OD.
If he didn't become the real life Joker,
Right.
fucking kill himself.
OD
Yeah,
just a few weeks before he won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
That's insane. This isn't a movie podcast.
Ambrose comes down, and Ambrose spoke with the gas mask on for a second. He also wore a brown jacket, like I said. He took off the mask and said that it was easy to get Seth Rollins all riled up. He called Rollins needy, emotional, and said he's just like the fans. Ambrose said that he used to be proud of the Shield, but after a while, all Seth and Roman cared about was being a role model for the fans. Crowd chanted for Rollins. Ambrose said that he's the only one that hasn't changed. He still has his morals. Ambrose called himself the moral compass of the WWE. Ambrose said that the fans probably didn't understand what that meant because they all went to school in Houston.
Yeah.
He said that Rollins would lose control at TLC, but not to worry because he'll gain control of the IC title. And here's the thing. That's the first time either man has referenced that the belt's on the line. It's like
they referenced it at what's that pay-per-view? Survivor Series. They mentioned it there.
the announcers or the actual wrestlers.
The wrestler, like
Seth did.
Oh, I'm defending.
Oh yeah, because that's when they announced it. But I mean, most of this has just been about Seth and Dean and the IC title secondary, just like in that tag team title match where the title was secondary. I mean, I guess you really can't compare the two though, because that was more comedy than anything. This is still kind of serious.
You know, comedy has its place in wrestling,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have its place every single day of the week. Guys like Stone Cold and The Rock did comedy really well, is because along with their comedy, there was really badass moments in there that really helped balance
Seriousness.
it out. With this, it's like, it's comedy, wrestling, comedy. It's just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I'd rather watch SNL.
So after he said that Rollins would lose control of himself, and lose control of the IC title, he would then go on to say that title will fall to me. And as he looked up into the rafters, he hugged an imaginary IC title. To me, almost sounded like they were teasing a ladder match.
I don't know.
Because if that Corbin Braun Strowman match is not climb the ladder, grab the title, or grab anything, contract, whatever, then you can do a ladder match, because it's almost like you don't have two, you know?
So you'd be having two ladder matches?
No. You have the ladder match for the IC title, and then you have Corbin and
You're forgetting the women's match.
Well, yeah, that's probably going to be grab the title belt. That's probably going to be grab the belt.
It's a TLC match.
But so is Corbin and Strowman, and there's nothing on the line to grab.
Yes, there is.
What?
The rights to Raw. To
Okay.
control Raw.
But so was
That'll just be in a briefcase.
So was the Shield versus 5 guys last year, and there was nothing to grab, and it was pinfall or submission. It was billed a tables, ladders, and chairs match because all 3 weapons were legal, as well as the trash compactor.
I guess we'll know. Wait a minute, trash compactor.
Or garbage truck.
What year was this?
Last year when they put Braun in the garbage truck.
That was for the control of Raw?
No, that was a TLC match where you didn't have to grab anything down. That's what I'm trying to get at. They've been doing these TLC matches where there's nothing on the line. So that's like, is Corbin and Braun going to climb the ladder to get something, or is it pinfall submission?
I'd say for that, it would make sense for that to be a ladder match. You know what I mean? Like, if anything makes sense out of that stupid fucking feud.
Also, we're on the topic of it. Apparently, a wrestler in the WWE contacted Meltzer last week and told him that putting Braun in a ladder match or a tables match or a chairs match or TLC is a bad idea coming off of elbow surgery, because when you get a ladder swung at you or a chair swung at you, what do? You put up your arms, And apparently, this wrestler that did not want to be named told Meltzer that most of the time you put up your arms, your elbows take most of the blow. So Strowman, if Strowman's going to be in this match, he's going to have to be very careful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Rollins' music would then hit, because we're back talking about Raw. Rollins' music would hit, and all the, I don't know what you call them, security guards, all the security guards or whatever, would turn around and look up the ramp waiting for him, but he would come from behind. Took out one guy that was still down by the ring, and then he ran into the ring. He would then run in and attack Ambrose, but Ambrose would quickly get out of the ring and run through the crowd. Rollins would jump the barricade as well, and they would fight in the crowd for a little while before, I think it was Dean got a little bit of control, so he ran back to ringside. As Seth ran back to ringside, he was hit in the face with the gas mask. Got hit in the face with the gas mask, and that is when Dean took control. He took him out, dirty deeds on the black mats. He then had his henchmen all pick him up, kind of like Adam Page was picked up by the Dick Druids at All In, and he brought him into the ring. He said, "Bring him in the ring, bring him in the ring." And at this time, Renee Young said, "We've seen Dean Ambrose come unhinged before, but what we're getting from him right now is next level." I really want to know if they ever tell us in storyline what happens with them at home and with Dean going crazy. Is he really not crazy like he tries to tell us and everybody else is crazy? Or is he the kind of guy, like I've said before, where Renee's doing her thing at home and he's sitting in his parlor room in his rocking chair just, when's Raw? Where do I go? I'm crazy. Where's Seth? I'm going to kick his ass.
I want it to be him stroking a stuffed cat, because he's not allowed to have a real one because he squeezes him too hard and he kills him. So he's like holding this stuffed cat, right?
Right.
And he's just petting it, but he's using like his fucking fingernails or something.
Oh, Lord.
It's him in a dark corner listening to like 9 different Metallica songs on repeat, just like just super angry. Like Renee has to like pet the top of his head every hour so he doesn't like murder everyone else in the world. God, I really want, this is the greatest time to use stupid funny vignettes for Dean to make it look like, oh my god, this dude's fucking crazy, holy shit. Now's the time for the comedy mixed with the serious.
I had somebody ask me about Renee getting involved in the storyline that I was just like, that they'd never do it. Somebody said, because the reason Dean is so crazy and pissed off at Seth is because he found out that Dean and Renee are having an affair.
That's way too much.
That's way too out there. I was like, the WWE would not do that.
That's some fucking ringside news type shit.
Renee would no longer. There'd be no way she can come back as an announcer from a storyline like that.
There's literally no way she could come back into the face of the company.
Well, I mean, if it was storyline, she could still be within the company, but she couldn't be any kind of credible announcer because everybody that comes on comedy would be like, "Oh, hey Cole, hey Graves, hey Hooer." So they put Rollins back in the ring, give him a dirty deeds one last time. After commercial break, Graves pestered Young to tell us what's going on with Ambrose. Stop short telling us and do your darn job. In the Young told him, "Listen, no one is entitled to know what goes on behind closed doors between husband and wife. How dare you?" Bro, maybe she's in on it.
Could be.
After taking a powerbomb through the table on the floor, they announced that Natalya was injured. She injured her arm. Backstage, Charlie Caruso informed Nia Jax and Tamina that Rousey was still looking for a partner, and they've announced who her partner is. It's Ember Moon. Jax and Tamina said that they're not intimidated by Charlie Caruso, Ronda Rousey, or Ember Moon. Jax said that the only reason they attacked Rousey from behind was because they were tired of seeing her face from the front. Jax said that they would have to see her face tonight, but that's only because they're going to rearrange it. She's going to rearrange it just like she did to Becky. She would then scream into the microphone, if you were watching on headphones like I was, killed your ears, and basically said that she would regain her title at TLC. And next up, we have a loser leaves Raw match. Heath Slater versus Rhino. Match went less than a minute and a half. Michael Cole thought this was ridiculous, by Corey Graves. And as the match went on, it was really, really quick, like I said. Rhino clocked Slater from the get-go. Slater looked like he didn't want to fight his buddy. And suddenly, Slater hit a neck breaker, landed on top of Rhino and pinned him. 1, 2, 3. Like, okay.
Real quick. Thank you, Chris McNutt, for the $5. It's been a while since we've seen Chris, and she said, "What did you guys think about the women's tag team title mentions on Raw tonight?" Hope it happens.
Yeah.
Really, really hope it happens. It would bring the freshest breath of air to this show.
It's just, how do they do it is the question. Because you can't have 2 different women's tag titles. And then if you have floating titles, then the question is, well, why don't all the titles float? Why don't you have floating men's tag titles? Why don't you have floating, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we'll have to wait and see how they do it. And maybe that's why they haven't done it yet, because there's just so many questions on, well, how do we do this to make this work? Or how do we do that to make that work? And maybe they don't want, maybe they're actually thinking it out instead of just doing something on the fly.
Because they know that if this doesn't go right, because it involves the women,
Right.
and they know if it's not done right, then this is going to look very, very bad on them. And I applaud them for taking their time and thinking, how can we make sure that this is the best possible product that we give to people? And I'd like that if that's what they're going with, if they're even thinking about it right now, which I'm sure with the mentioning that they gotta be thinking.
Or it could be just. Or it could just be Vince and his whole, all right, next week we're going to announce it. Then they get to Raw and he goes, I got another idea. Cut that segment off. And then we'll do it next week. And every week it's like, yeah, it's not going to work. So maybe that's what it is. Who knows? Backstage, Baron Corbin congratulated Heath Slater on his big win. Slater was grateful, but wanted to know what he can do for his buddy Rhino. Corbin didn't care about Rhino and told Slater to get in his new uniform. He was like, uniform? What are you talking about? And Corbin gave him a referee shirt and said, I see you having longevity and a very long career as a referee here on Raw. So I guess we're going to
tell you.
What? Go.
I want to tell you how much I love that. I want to tell you how much I fucking love the idea of Heath Slater. Like, you're gonna get so many segments of him going to referee school, of him like at home studying.
I did not think of that.
I want him with like his t-shirt that says like referee college. It's like a crew neck, and he has like cans of like energy drinks laid across his like desk. And he's like, "Oh, honey, we can't go out to dinner. I gotta study for my referee midterms." I want so many stupid segments.
He needs to wear a shirt that says RIT, referee in training.
Yes, that's what I want. See, that's the funny you can have with someone that is meant to be funny, like Heath Slater.
Exactly.
And no one takes him seriously, so let him fuck around. I want referee school. I want like, oh god, I want referee university. And
I want someone to come up to him, like another wrestler, maybe like an Apollo Crews or something, and go, "Why are you putting up with this? Like, you're a wrestler. Go to Stephanie McMahon. Go to do something to wrestle again." And he'll just be like, "I can't. I got kids. I can't risk it."
Exactly. You can let the "I got kids" thing play up. I really, really just love this idea.
Because that was his whole thing on when Corbin earlier was like, "Which one do you want to quit?" He's like, "I can't. I got kids."
This is going to be so stupidly fun, and I'm going to love,
hopefully,
as long as this is stupid thing is done right. I want 90s training segments of like, oh, I got to get to class today to do referee training. We're going to learn how to count to 3 today. And I want the referee training to be like blatantly bad. Like, oh, if he's grabbing the tights, make sure you're kind of paying attention. And it's all the referees just like messing up, like looking at everything, or like, yeah, you're gonna practice taking a hit, and like a referee gets like poked and he's like screaming. Oh, I just want so many things.
It could be very, very interesting.
I want Heath accidentally goes to a basketball refereeing school.
Oh Lord.
Oh fuck! I want to just start. Oh, that's travel.
He starts doing the football hand signals.
Oh my god! I'm crying! I'm crying! I'm crying! I'm crying! I'm crying! I'm crying! Oh my god, I'm crying. Thank you guys.
Or you have somebody, I can see a heel. I can see it now. You got a heel. And he comes down for his match. And he gets on the mic and goes, wait, I didn't sign up for a special guest referee match. Where's a real referee? And then he goes,
Hey,
I am a real referee.
you know what's funny?
Huh.
Woken King Slender mentioned something interesting here. There are now 2 open spots for wrestlers on Raw.
No, there's one.
No, because Rhino's gone, Slater's gone as a wrestler.
Right. Because Rhino and Slater, there was only room for one of them. Fire Rhino, so now
considered.
one. The winner
Well, then-
kept the slot, the open slot, but now that he's a referee, that opens up one slot. They gotta open up them slots to try and sign Lars Sullivan, the freak.
Exactly. I love it.
The freak.
I gave up my spot for you.
So with that, excuse me, we get Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal.
Mayhal.
After a few chin locks and a commercial break, Balor came back with a double foot stomp, enziguri sling blade, running drop kick. Sunil Singh distracted the referee as Balor was going to the top rope. Samir pushed Balor off the top rope, and all of a sudden, Balor's got friends because Apollo Crews came down to try and help him out.
Yeah, which was interesting.
I mean, hey, I liked it. You gotta have the babyface have some backup sometimes.
Absolutely.
I mean, the heels always got backup, so why can't the babyface? So Apollo comes down, he takes out one of the Singh brothers. Cole said, "Look who's here! It's Apollo Crews!" And Corey Graves goes, "Why?" Kind of like you just said.
It's like, all right,
Why?
Sure.
Mahal gets out of the...
Like, it was the best, like normal, natural response of like, what, why?
Because
why?
It was the logical thing to do. The babyface is getting screwed, so somebody comes down to help him out. But because WWE never does the logical thing, you were so damn confused. So Jinder Mahal gets out of the ring, and he kicks Crews to save his buddies, but Balor wipes them all out with a flip dive. Balor followed it up with a drop kick and a coup de grace for the victory. And Balor had a good night up to this point. As I say, up to this point. Mm-hmm. So, go backstage, and Charlie Caruso was interviewing Finn Balor. As she's asking...
Question.
Yeah.
Why do you say Balor gets the upper hand in the title?
Because he was getting the upper hand up until this point. He had screwed Drew McIntyre. He had kind of screwed Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush. He beat Jinder Mahal, but then, as I'm about to say here, he got his ass beat.
Fair enough.
Because, as he was being interviewed by Charlie Caruso, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Drew McIntyre came in like a freaking Mack truck, 100 miles an hour, just rushes right into Balor, sends him into a bunch of barrels, and just starts beating the crap out of him. Referees and officials come to pull him off. They pull him off, and he runs right back on top. And he was hitting Finn so hard, you can hear those shots on his back, like splat, splat, splat.
Oh yeah, they were loud.
Continues to beat him, and finally they get him off. And he was just like, TLC, you're going to get yours. Well, he kind of just got it now. Then we get a Lars Sullivan hype video where before Michael Cole said both Raw and SmackDown, both Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon really want to sign this guy. And then Corey Graves was like, he's the freak. He looks like a genetically altered freak. This freak that. He's the freak. Lars Sullivan. So everybody needs a nickname. You've got the almighty Bobby Lashley, the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre. Now you've got the freak, Lars Sullivan. Heels need nicknames, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Lars said something about, in the promo he actually spoke this time, he said something about no matter what brand I go to, Raw or SmackDown, I'm going to dominate and I'm going to destroy everybody that you put in my way. Cool. So then we get the main event. Not the main event. Yeah, it was the main event. Rousey and Ember Moon versus Nia and Tamina. Rousey marched out with a stern demeanor on her face. As she got into the ring, Jackson Tamina attacked her before the bell, before Moon even came down. Ember Moon sprinted down to make the save. Moon hit Tamina with a crossbody springboard off the middle ropes, and then gave Jax a code breaker, and Rousey knocked Jax out of the ring. Moon gave Tamina a sliding kick, and Rousey knocked down Jax with a forearm. Here's my question. So the match officially starts, and I think it's Tamina and Ronda. How come every time Ronda hits a clothesline, she's got to hit the clothesline and then do a front roll? She can't just clothesline somebody. She's got to clothesline and do the front roll. Because there was one of them where she like hit the clothesline and then she like planted her feet and then did the roll. Like she's got to do the roll. She's so scripted in her mind where I've got to do this exactly how I'm told that she's a robot out there.
I genuinely have no idea, dude. I don't, man.
Then this showed it. She's a robot out there where she would, because a couple of them were fluid. She would like roll through the clothesline, but there was one or two in particular where she would kind of run at Tamina, hit the clothesline, plant her feet, and then do her roll. And you could tell like she thought, oh, I had to hit my roll last second because before she would like roll and go like 2-3 feet. But this one she rolled and went by about 2 or 3 inches. They've got her conditioned to, it's all written down, follow it step by step. It's not going to be good in the long run. Mm-hmm. So within 10 minutes left of the show, match comes back from a commercial break and the heels were in control, but Moon fought back on Tamina. Jax distracted the referee, allowing Tamina to hit a super kick. Moon went for a tag, but Jax knocked Rousey off the apron. Mm-hmm. Ember dodged a charge, and Tamina knocked Jax off the apron by mistake. Rousey made the hot tag and went wild on Tamina. Rousey kicked Tamina in the corner, and Jax tagged herself in. Tamina was tagged out, but Jax, this was kind of weird. They were like tagging each other, quick tags, I guess, and the crowd was booing. Rousey used her MMA strikes on Tamina. She went for a step-up enziguri, but completely missed, and Tamina sold it anyways.
Yeah, I really liked the Ronda missed almost every kick tonight. It was
hey, but at least they still sold it for her.
Yeah, that's good.
It was like Jinder getting knocked down by the wind.
Yeah, the literal whisper in the wind.
Rousey kicked Jax out of the ring. Moon gave Tamina the Eclipse. Rousey applied her armbar submission for the victory. There we go. Ember, Rousey victorious as Raw goes off the air. There we go. Yep. That was a mediocre, but better than the last 2 weeks episode of Raw.
Dreadful.
There are some okay things.
You can follow me on Twitter at PWU_Armstrong. You can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited, Facebook/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Right here on YouTube. Check out the folks over at Fightful5.com, Twitter at FightfulOnline. Tim, where can they find you?
Find me basically everywhere at Timmy Buddy.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Raw recap. Have a good one, folks.
No.
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Have a good night, guys.